What up? What up? What up? It's another episode of the Shark Cove coming at you a little bit later. So I do apologize about the delay, but it is a solo show. We'll try and run through this a little bit quicker than we normally do. So we can all get to bed so we can wake up and we can watch these games. Now, just to recap yesterday, look, I was not in love with that slate. I didn't like it at all, to be quite honest. I actually withdrew some of my entries because I wasn't enjoying the way that I was building lineups. Turned out it was actually a pretty good slate for me. That's how it always kind of ends up. I had a couple sandbox stacks with JDG. I went 100% JDG in the $10 and did some like really disgusting 369 TT Gen G favorite mishmash in the 333. Only put one lineup there. Didn't really like the lineups that I was feeling good with putting in there. I was thinking about playing Weibo. I'm glad that I didn't. And, I just hedged with all Weibo lineups in the 20s. So it worked out for me. I thought for a second I had the optimal lineup, but a couple of those Iago captains just propelled themselves right past me in the main. I think I finished in like the top 10 or something like that. So, it is what it is. This slate's a little bit different for a lot of reasons. We do have some heavy favorites and we have some pretty close games, but we have a lot looser pricing. So, without further ado, by the way, before we get going, two things. Obviously, you can see the background. Cookie, thank you so much. Fantastic. Looks great. We had some technical difficulties, but we figured it out. Secondly, I do want to say, and look, man, I didn't want to do this, but look, we had to sell out. Shark Cove sold out. We now have a sponsor for the stream. We are going to be partnered up with Clout Fantasy. So I have a link for a $100 match deposit in my Twitter, EmrichD4U. We'll be talking about that a little bit more. We'll go through a couple of the Clout platform and how that works. Look, guys, at the end of the day, we've got to monetize this some way. I've got to pay Cookie somehow. And if it means that you guys go sign up for Clout Fantasy and we play some of those games, then that's what it is. Let's go take over the platform. Let's win a bunch of money. Let's do that. Maybe Prize Picks, maybe Underdog. Maybe those guys will start to sponsor the stream too. The other thing that can happen, and I know 50% of you motherfuckers don't have a sub on the channel, just go create your YouTube channel. Or not the YouTube channel, but your login if you're just watching it anonymously and sub to the channel. Let's try and get to 1,000. That's a pretty big stretch. But all that's going to do is make more content for you guys. It's not going to support me. It's not going to retire me. I'm not going to make a good amount of money off of it. But all the money that I get from that will put back into the stream, into funny skits, clips, and all the good things that we can pay for the editors. So you're not paying me, you're paying Cookie, you're paying, everything that is the Shark Cove. But you don't even have to pay anything. Just go hit subscribe and play some fantasy, and we'll take it from there. But let's hop into the slate here. Spell unbelievable. I don't know if they do. Why? Look, man, what have we got going on here? They probably do, but use my code, okay? What does it matter? Is that so difficult? Just use my code. Come on, man. Help the guy out. Yeah, you mushed me out of thousands of dollars the other day, and you're going to blow up my spot like this? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This guy's spell. You think he's on your side, but you just can't trust people from Kentucky, let me tell you. Anyway, so we open up the first game here. We've got KT Rolster versus Fredit Brion. Both of these teams have both of these teams have had their ups and downs throughout the season. KT has, almost, at least in my mind, has risen to possibly that third status with Damwon kind of falling off. KT is primed to step in right behind Gen G and T1. They go up against an upstart Fredit Brion team who seems to be kind of finding their way. And by finding their way, they found their way into playoffs in the spring and then found a way to lose some of the most disgusting, boring games throughout the beginning of summer. More recently, they have played a little bit faster. We've seen them pick up that pace, even pick up a couple of wins. Now, they're huge dogs here, plus 315. Even just a minus 110 to pick up a game, that might be the play. Let's take a look at under the hood. Let's see what these teams have done recently. And this is probably not viewable for you. So let's go ahead and fix that. Boom. There we go. So Bro recently knocked off Nongshim. They lost to KDF. They lost to T1. They're picking up games though. So, from that standpoint, I guess the +1.5 is something to consider. But let's go take a look at KT and let's talk about this team. Do we think that this team is going to drop a game to Bro? Is it a Bro Day? Do we got our Bro Day tickets? Are we ready to cash them in? They just, had a fantastic win against Damwon. Probably didn't have a lot of business winning that as a 2-0, but they did. This is a team that's taking some games. I guess the biggest concern that I have is dropping that game to Nongshim. But beyond that, they took 2 off of HLE. They took 2 off of KDF. They took 2 off of DRX. It almost feels like if this team is going to win, they're going to take care of business if they're on. Aiming absolutely fucks. We know that. He is kind of like the mega fucker for the KT roster. And Rascal's been playing into form. And really, when it comes down to it, almost everybody on that team has really stepped up in a way that you can play them in fantasy, and they're going to play the role and get the points over. And despite playing better and despite winning, they haven't strayed from where what's gotten them there. So look, as much as I'd like to back Bro, I'm probably not going to in any type of betting form. DFS might be a different story. Look, for me, I don't know if I even have enough faith in KT or Brion to take a game or to sweep. Not at those odds. I'll probably abstain. If I'm looking at a betting total, we've talked about this. One of the things that I like to do is see what we can get on odds on these big games. And plus 750 just doesn't seem like it's good enough at 30.5. Now, look, that 24.5 plus 220, they don't offer anything in between. And if we go back and take a look, this really because the range of outcomes for Bro is just so consolidated. They have had on that upper range some 24s. The 35 and 27 are massive outliers, as is the 37. So I don't know. The problem is that they don't necessarily pull their weight, or they didn't for a long period of time. But more recently, when they have lost, they're getting into the double digits. And we've seen with KT, they're not exactly a team that sets the world on fire. We're not getting 20 kill games, and they're not giving up a lot of kills when they're doing that. Can Bro come in and get 10 kills? Possibly. But if you're banking on that, you deserve the plus 220. So I'm probably going to abstain there. I've got a lot going on the LFL playoffs tomorrow, so I don't really need to start my day off, good or bad. I could just wait till the LFL series. I'm going to abstain from this one right here, and let's move into the LPL. Let's take a look. Bro Day. I mean, look, it could be a Bro Day in DFS. I don't think it is in betting. Hand hose. I mean, I don't know. I think hand woes before Bros. I think it would be hand hose or hand hose. I don't know, man. Yeah, look, I don't know. We got to work on that. No, look, you mushed me. We have the same lineup. You mush him, you mush me. I was his biggest fan for that period of time there. We thought we had it. We were celebrating in the Pater Discord, excited, counting our money, thinking that Spell just didn't have the power that is bestowed upon some of the great mushers of our time. Matt Pickums, A1 Persona, King J, Rose. Some of the best mushers. It just didn't seem like it was there. But the under 30 reared its ugly head and cost us quite a bit. So Spell, you just can't be doing that. It's not acceptable. And the lack of remorse that you have is absolutely making me sick. Okay. Read the room. Nobody's happy about it. All right. We can talk like this. We're still independent enough. They came to us. They like the content. They like us. They like us for who we are. We're not changing. Speaking of not changing, hopefully Team WE does not take that same kind of philosophy. This is a man. I don't know, man. plus 280, plus 1.5 blue side pick. But a couple of weeks ago, this would have probably been a smash spot, and not even necessarily a smash spot per se, but at least a spot that you'd entertain. You'd say, okay, well, like WE has beaten some good teams on blue side. They could take a game off of EDG. Maybe you even entertain throwing like a small unit on that plus 1,000, and maybe you still do. I'm not. I don't think so. I think EDG is coming into form, and I am a little bit biased. I will admit that I have some futures on EDG in terms of their win total, and I need them to win out to hit that, and I think break even with Avalanche. Otherwise, I'm going to lose money, and that's no good. So I'm rooting for EDG here to win the series. I don't know if they drop a game. I don't think that they do. I don't think that you can bet the sweep minus 1.5 at minus 410. And quite frankly, I don't trust the way that these two teams play to bet a whole lot. I get maybe like on the kill spread. Let's take a look at that. WE recently has been, I guess somewhat competitive in terms of the kill totals being relatively equal and even. They've picked up a couple wins, but those were against IG and LGD. Certainly a far cry from their win against OMG and RNG when that blue side dominance was really a thing. And they're not dying a ton. Another team that doesn't die a lot, it happens to be on the slate, is RA. Now, we saw what happened in that absolute abomination against RA when EDG played them and put up a fucking 33 spot. Like, who does that? Like, how does that even happen? Disgusting. The problem that I have with EDG is that they typically want to come in and take care of business. That's how they played the beginning part of the split. However, over the last 4 or 5 series, we have seen a little bit more fast, a little bit more loose, and maybe this is just them opening up. Maybe this is them realizing after they lost to OMG, after they lost to Victory 5, that they needed to change things, because that's kind of when that shift happened. Now, against Top Esports, I am not going to hold that against them. They're going to play that series, and they're going to probably play it a little bit different. But look, they're not playing Top Esports. Not even close. They're playing a team that is just, at some point was playing SMLZ and thought that was a good idea. They're playing a team that thought it was a good idea to call their best player, somebody that's been with this organization for a while, trash, despite the fact that he's been given absolutely no help. So, look, I do think that EDG comes in, they take care of business, they sweep this 2-0, but I'm not laying 4.5 units to even win one. It's just not worth it to me, and I'm certainly not putting 35 units to win one. If we go take a look at kind of like the kill totals, or even the spreads aren't something that I want here. I feel like I'm just going pretty light towards the end of the season. A lot of the mathematical formulas that these books have are a lot closer to what they should be, and so it's a little more difficult to find an edge. When we're looking at that over under, we are 23-24. Let's just take a quick look again. I suppose the way that they've been playing, you have seen that, but I don't think that this is an indicative series of what this is going to look like. It's hard. I think that this series probably looks more like this, and as a result, I'm probably just gonna pass. They've given up some big totals, but it feels like a 50-50. I'm not getting 50-50 odds. I'm paying the juice, so I'm just gonna skip. I'm good here. Nah, man, it's still your fault, bro. Like, don't try and get out of this. You just man up, say you're sorry, say you'll never do it again, and just apologize. You're acting like Fraud Boy right now, which makes a lot of sense. Maybe you guys are the same person. The only person that I've ever seen less remorseful about a mush was Fraud Boy, Mr. Marcus. And so Spell makes sense. You guys are 2 peas in a pod, or 2 bananas in a banana peel. I don't even know how to kind of describe that. Bananas used to have seeds, but is it like a banana pod? Is that what it would be called? I know what a banana hammock is. I have a couple of those. Won't be showing those on stream, but hey, maybe on the OnlyFans. Maybe that's how we pay for the production, right? Anyway, We've got RA playing LNG, and I think this is going to be a popular spot. It seems like there's quite a few people that are betting on Rare Atom, sharp people that are typically regarded as smart, people that make wise decisions. But look, I think one of those people was trying to live bet Weibo earlier today, after the game one draft. So, maybe not so sharp on the Eastern leagues, if you know who I'm talking about, but look at that plus 300. It is it's tempting, man. It's tempting. They got the blue side advantage. Again, how much weight do you put in that when this has really been kind of like a 50-50 thing? But the problem I have with it is I don't think that LNG is very good, but I really don't think RA is very good. I've made no bones about it. I think iBoy is right down there and running for one of the absolute worst ADCs we have in the LPL. I think he would be one of the worst ADCs in the LCK. Hell, there's a handful of ADCs in the West that I think would be better than him. Maybe not in the LPL because they don't speak the language, but man, the guy sucks. And on the other side of things, Light is one of the better ADCs. There's no lack of individual talent when it comes to LNG, except for maybe Panda C, I guess. But look, he's new. We can't hold that against him. But this LNG team is just so sloppy when they play around objectives. They are not getting some of the same laning advantages and utilizing those to accelerate leads in this game. And like the comeback mechanics are just so heavy that teams can get back from a couple sloppy fights. And the thing about LNG is when you watch their games, they have some very clean ones. And you almost think, wow, man, maybe they figured it out. But no sooner do they figure that out, or do you think that they figured it out, that you go into the next game and LNG just absolutely looks like a different team. Maybe they've switched over from the blue side to the red side, and just like the slight change in composition, the slight change on the map is just too much for them. I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's still 22 turrets on the map. There's still 6 inhibitors and there's still 2 nexus. If you get the reference, throw an F in the chat. But hey, look, what it comes down to in this game is, are we going to see LNG play cleanly? And if they do, they're going to take care of business. For me, RA having the blue side and just how bad RNG has been, I think I'm going to take a sprinkle on that plus 300. I'm going to bet the plus 1.5. And this is it. This is it for me. This is the last RA bet. Oh, my God, they're playing LGD next. This is probably it, though. This is the last time I'm going to bet on them in the year 2022. I'm certainly not betting against them or betting on them against TT. So, we're going to take a chance. We're going to try and get some money. So maybe we can bet them against LGD, which is surely going to be a banger next Tank Top Tuesday. We'll be talking about that game. But yeah, like that's probably where I'm going to go. Plus 1.5, minus 115. If we're looking at totals, LNG has been a team that have played a little bit faster in their wins, right? Like this is a team that like kind of was known for their slow play, at least in my mind. But they've had some pop off wins, right? Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm manufacturing this, but yeah, no, they've been in the upper teens to the low 20s for a good portion ever since we've kind of switched over to like 12-12. And I expect that too. Now, RA is typically just this team. And you know what? I can't bet it. If you bet it, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I haven't bet it yet. I just can't do it. RA has felt like they have given up. Fuck these guys. I'm not betting them. Full reverse course here. I don't give a shit about blue side. I don't hate the bet, but man, these guys have just given up. Fuck them. I'm not doing it. Look at these games. Look at these totals. Yeah, they had this 21 against IG. This team is absolute trash. I don't care. LNG, don't let me down. Don't hurt my feelings. You guys have not been good recently. Losing to Victory 5 and EDG, I'm not going to hold that against you. This is in that same realm of playing up and playing WE. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. Not happening. Fuck that. Let's see. I've never seen Frog Boy and Spell. Yeah, neither have I, man. Yeah, they did breed the seeds out on them. We're talking about bananas now. I mean, we can take a look at What bananas looked like before? Not GMO. Come on, dude. Yeah, man. This is a banana. I mean, I don't know if you guys have never ever seen it, but okay, that could have been better. But yeah, that's what bananas looked like before. So, um, yeah, they bred them out. No seeds. Anyway, let's see. Nexi. No, look, you say nexuses. That's what you say. That's how it was said. That's look. It was a very it's a famous speech. It's out there. It's out there. You know what I'm talking about. Um, T1 and Hanwha. Man, how do you approach this game? For me, from a betting perspective, again, I'm probably just abstaining. Looks like I'm just like not doing anything for this entire card. Again, I've got a lot riding on Game Ward versus Cake Corp. That's the bet. That's the play. Join me at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Just know that almost any time that Gelati tails one of my LFL or ERL bets, they tend to go south. And so I'm not excited that he's maxed that bet along with me, given just how much I have riding on this with my parlays and my straight bets. But Chekalad is my boy. I think he got a raw deal in the LEC. I don't think he played very well either. So maybe it wasn't a raw deal, but I expect him to be back, and he's going to handle Staken, and we're gonna ride into the EUM. Maybe play-ins, probably. I don't think they beat Vitality, but maybe they do. In either event, Game Ward wins tomorrow against K Corp. That's where I'm going to be betting. The only spot here that I think that is kind of worth discussing is probably HLE plus 220. This is a team that has found its way to win games in series that they shouldn't have. This T1 team is one that has found a way to drop games in series that they shouldn't have. And HLE is in a prime spot to capitalize on a plus 220 if you want to get a little bit of action on this, because I don't know how much actual game action we're going to see. T1 has completely reverted from their spring split skirmishing to this much slower style, suffocating teams out, and this HLE team did take a game from them, and they did take it in rather dramatic fashion, 20-10 the last time they played, but both of the T1 wins were 11, and just at the end of the day, I don't know how many of these totals you can bet. I guess let's just go take a look real quick at HLE. And they have a lot of low totals too. What's the total on this? Are we going to get some totals? Are we going to get disgusting here? That's oh man. Yeah, look, I think you can get some action in one of these ranges here. I think the 18 or 17 is probably worthwhile. Looking back at it, how many times do these teams are they under 17 or 18? I think frequently enough that you can probably take those odds at like the plus 200 range. Does it happen 1 out of 3 times? I think so. 11, 13, we see it 14, 17, 15. I mean, look, I don't know how brave you are. I'm certainly not brave enough to do it, but you could fire on that under 15. They don't have an under 15. They have an under 16 and a half, under 17. I think the 17 and a half is where you make a bet. I'll probably throw a couple of those in. You're getting a little even better odds in game 2 and even better in game 3. So look, that's the betting card. Let's hop into cash. Let's hop in. Now, look, I was absolutely astonished at the ownership in TT yesterday. Now, I shouldn't be. Looking back on it, I guess it makes sense. But, man, people tried to jam them in wherever they could. And I was really surprised at the ownership for both Dam 1 and Sandbox. Now, obviously, it was relatively sharp if you faded Dam 1, given the results. We're all about results-based analysis here. But the Sand Sharks at like sub 5% was absolutely a beautiful thing if you had them, if you were one of those people. And almost looked like the LGD sub 1% play was going to work out. But alas, it did not. My TT lineups were saved. JDG continues to always be optimal. And speaking of always optimal, it does not LNG is that team. They're almost always the optimal team. And now they do it in a way where they get a little bit more action. They give up or they get a little few more kills. And I don't think that we really spent enough time looking at this RA team and what they've done outside of just talking about that disgusting 33-point game. But you take that out of it, man. You take that out of it, 15, 14, 15, 16, 15, 14. You have some of those outliers, but is LNG going to get one of those? Or are they just going to roll this game? I don't know. For cash, let's take a look. EDG T1. I think we know that this is going to be a support captain. 559. That's not feeling good. I don't like that. That doesn't make me happy. 579 Levmo captain. Like, wow, that feels bad. I don't think we can go there. But what about KT? Can we do something there? I think some of these spots you could go and get a top captain that might be available, or you could play around with a couple of the teams. Like, what do we get if we do this? You get a really kind of a Frankenstein lineup there, but you're only at 568. I'm not sure that I even like that much. Let's take a look at KT because they open up a lot of different things now. 562. Man, the projections just hate people today, huh? I mean, it makes sense. It should be a low projected kind of series here. 593, like that's going to be a popular lineup, right? Is it Arya starting, or is it Vikla? Like, let me see something here. Do we have this wrong in the projections? Somebody let me know. Like, Vikla's played the last couple games, right? 29. Oh, so 729, 27, 23, 21. He's been playing. When was the last time we saw Arya? 625. I mean, July, what are you doing, bro? What's going on here? You trying to will this guy in? Let's just give him this. Take this out, and then let's go ahead and see what we got here. Really doesn't change anything. Allows you to do a couple other things, but I think that this is probably going to be a popular kind of combo. At least in cash, and that's what we're talking about right now. And I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. When we look at this, though, how does this work? So 589 versus 579. Man, you could do something like this, but like, we can't get a Doingby captain, can we? 67, and that's why we have it. Team slot between the two of these teams, LNG. That doesn't give us enough, does it? I mean, obviously we want Downby, so that doesn't work. What about in the jungle position? The owner's more expensive. Yeah, so what if we go Gumiasi? 574, but it still doesn't rectify what we need or what we want, and another 4,000 isn't going to get there. So, yeah, like I'm not a huge fan of the way to put this together. So it almost feels like this is kind of your cash lineup or some variation of this right here. I guess you could probably even go aiming and then go ADC light. It gives you an extra 300. Doesn't give you the upgrade there. What about the support position? No, it's more expensive. And when we're looking at the favorites, LNG is going to be like the least expensive, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do something like that. So I kind of am leaning LNG KT, but you can mix in a couple of the guys from EDG or T1 if you're looking for like a higher upside cash lineup. Obviously, the EDG T1 sub captain gives you a lot more security. That those two games feel like locks, right? where we've seen Bro take some games. Could it be a Bro day? Am I going to have some Bro lineups? Absolutely. In the GPP, I think that they're most definitely one of the teams that you want to have, because KT being so easy to fit with some of these other teams, you're likely to see some pretty high ownership. And I would venture to guess LNG is going to be in that same boat. You know, I guess the question that you have when you're trying to build those type of lineups from a game theory perspective, most people that I think that take a shot on Bro or HLE or RA are more than likely going to be pairing those teams with EDG. You're pairing like these huge dogs with the biggest favorite that kind of, I guess the thought process is if you get that right, you want to get paid on it, right? And EDG presents you the safest route to pair them with. So, what I propose is this: if you're playing one of those dogs, either play them together. Bro and RA is a lineup just made in Shark Cove heaven from 2021. That was definitely a lineup that I would run back then. Now both of those teams were a little bit different in dynamic, and the matchup was probably different. But I think if you're playing Bro, play him with LNG. Maybe play him with T1. Get that double LCK going. That doesn't feel good, but it certainly is something that can win. If you're playing RA, you play it with KT or you play it with T1. You don't play it with EDG. Or you can. There's nothing wrong with that, but maybe you play a couple of those lineups and you get a little bit freaky, a little bit done, a little bit wild with it. So what if it's WE day? If it's WE day, I'm probably not going to have a good day. Stranger things have happened. Not recently. You don't often see a plus 1,000 in the LPL. Beat a team that is clicking on all cylinders like EDG right now. So play WE though. Like they'll be sub 1%. The question is, who are you going to play WE with? Most people probably play him with T1, but I think that you could play him with KT, play him with LNG, or you could just get really crazy with RA. So, to me, I think the highest owned team on the slate, people find a way. They find a way to play the most expensive team, and they just put together the lineups, and that somehow, some way, these teams still end up at 30 or 40%. So maybe EDG's up there. I just don't think that they are, given the way that they're priced and given what you have to do. I think that they do command some ownership, but I'm thinking LNG and aiming are going to be kind of the predominant chalk. People are going to find a way to play those two. LNG as a whole, maybe aiming and Rascal, because people know not to play Panda C. The overlooked team for me is definitely T1. From a GPP perspective, playing RA doesn't seem crazy. I don't want to bet on them. I think that they've given up, and I think that they suck. But, for all of the reasons that we almost placed a bet on them, I think that you can play them in DFS, and you're risking far less and you're rewarded far more if it hits correctly. So that's how you can hedge that. But we bro or broe hoey, something like that. I don't know. Bro day, ho day, woe day. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just rhyming. It's late. It's 10:13. We've been going for 35 minutes. Thank you guys for joining the show. Love the background. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about Clout Fantasy tomorrow and on the upcoming shows. The link is in the Twitter bio. It's active tomorrow. So please support the stream, sub to the channel, like the videos, leave a comment. The only ones that I get are these foreign language ones because everybody's here in the chat. But, leave a comment. Say how great it was. Drop a like. Drop a subscribe. If you're not subscribed, 50% of you motherfuckers aren't subscribed. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Have some fun. It's a good day. LCK on 12.4. Yeah, I think so. Let me take a quick look and answer that question for you. No, they are on. I don't know if it's going to change, but I think they're only on. They're on 12.13. At least they were yesterday. Or wait, what am I saying yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Got confused. It's late. Didn't know what day it was. But yeah, it's still showing that they're on 12.13. 12.13. So I guess maybe I don't think they're going to switch midweek. So I mean they could, I guess, but they'll probably go 2 weeks on it. And next week they'll switch over to 12.14. So yeah, looks like they're still on 12.13. I don't know how much that changes anybody's opinion, but yeah, look, T1 might be good on it, but the problem is how active is T1 going to be? I might go ahead and play some T1 lineups just on the basis that I hope that they draft some kind of troll compositions. It almost felt like Gen G was doing that to some extent. They were just so much better than Kwangdong yesterday that they weren't able to kind of like steamroll. There was no fight back. I mean, at the end of the day, right now, Gen G holds serve. T1 is locked into that second spot. Nobody is catching them. So they can play a little crazy. I mean, I suppose there's still a world where they lose their next 4 games and Sandbox overtakes them, but that's not a world that we live in. That's not one of our universes. That's not our reality. So maybe they troll. Maybe they get some extra kills, play some T1. That's kind of my bold call, and maybe play them with RA. So T1 RA, let's see if that kind of hits us some money. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. It is Tank Top Thursday. Normal time, normal place. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys.